Hi there, welcome to another episode of We Review Everything. I'm, for the first time, your host Nanashi. There's been a lot of music coming out over the last several decades, and not every good music genre necessarily comes from America. There have been all kinds of great musics. If you sit down and listen to Spanish music, it sounds like a party every single day. German music, while a little bit too symmetric for my tastes, has very good balance to it. But my personal favorite would have to be music along the Japanese genre, specifically J-pop and J-rock. And one of my personal favorite bands of all time was Antic Cafe, also known as Antic Cafe. This band actually formed roughly 10 years ago back in 2003. This band originally only had 3 members, Miku on vocals, Bo on guitar, and Kanon on bass. Teruki left his former band known as Feathers Blue that he joined up as the group's drummer. And as time went on, they became a lot more popular a band, with all kinds of great music. They mainly played a lot of upbeat pop rock combo music, and a lot of it was so great. I personally had a huge affection for tracks like Candy Holic, and of course there was also Kakusei Heroism, which did not actually become a track until after their lead guitarist, Bo, left the group for reasons that are still, for the most part, unknown, at least to me. After Bo left the group, he was actually replaced by a new guitarist by the name of Takuya, and they also threw in a guitarist named Yuki. And while they did continue the band, in my personal opinion, it lost some of its allure. Bo was one of the greatest guitarists I had ever seen, and if you take a minute to actually look up who Bo was, you would actually see him guitaring alongside some of the most famous guitarists imaginable. Don't get me wrong, they still had some great music when it comes right down to it, but it lost a lot of its allure, not just because of Bo, but because they went in a slightly different direction with the way their music was played. The tempo changed a little, the keyboard added a new electronic element that made it sound so much different. Personally, I think the first generation of Antic Cafe was great, simply because of the fact that they had one of my favorite songs of all time. And that track would definitely have to be Snowseed. It personifies all 4 of the members in an equal balance, giving each of them a chance to show who they are, get all their physical business out there, show off their costumes, show what each of them brings to the table, and you get a huge appreciation for Bo in no matter what you look at. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that they were the greatest group ever. God knows that that would be an awful lie, and I'm not about to lie on the internet. You also have to give credits to bands like Back On, who made a lot of music for anime like Eyeshield 21 and Air Gear, one of my personal favorite animes. But Antic Cafe was actually one of my first Japanese music bands, and also one of my personal favorites, because of the fact that they were so out there. Not just because of their music, but because of the way they dressed. You've heard of Visual Kei. They actually took it very, very well. Their full outfits you would ever see. Half of them often looking almost feminine. Bo being no exception. There were times when a lot of people who would just look at him and think that he was a girl. Yeah, that's a girl. Ultimately, favorite group of all time, always will be, despite the fact that Bo's gone. Still, I would like to know where Bo went. And not for the reason you think. Well, that's the end of this music review. Maybe I'll see you next time on the internet.